have distinguished yourself as a musician and educator of extraordinary accomplishment. A cellist who's
Good morning. I am Nalea Backus-Hairston, the Conservatory Registrar, and it is my pleasure to announce that Dr. Townsend Plant, the Associate Dean for Enrollment.
I can barely believe that it has been bestowed upon me. I experienced a kind of cognitive dissonance because it occurred to me that I could just as easily be standing here today accepting the Excellence in Learning Award. Being at Peabody for the past 17 years has been an incredible education for me. I have learned so much from all of the people who work in this building. For example, because I came to Peabody, I got to play with Leon Fleischer. Because when you teach, you must teach from who you are and what you know and what you believe. You can't teach off a syllabus or out of a book. You must teach from your deepest soul. Second, always remember that teaching is not the mere passing on of information. Rather, teaching is about getting someone to change how they do things, to change how they see things and understand things. And in the case of teaching an instrument or a voice, it is about changing how a person actually feels in their own body. If they haven't changed, they haven't learned. Third, recognize that no one teacher can give a student everything they need. So stay humble and share your students. At the same time, remember that the unique thing that each teacher has to give is absolutely essential for every student. So never doubt the importance of what you are teaching. Finally, teaching is a huge responsibility. Take it seriously. Always remember how eagerly you turn to all of your own teachers for guidance. How much you depended on us to help you navigate the pathways to excellence. How much you wanted from us and how much you needed from us. And then make sure that you are the kind of teacher for your students that you wanted us to be for you. I believe that teaching is the highest calling. It is also rewarding beyond almost anything else. I love to teach, and so you can probably understand how deeply meaningful this award is to me. I thank the Johns Hopkins University Alumni Association for this incredible honor, and I thank all of you for all that you have taught me. Thank you.
It's now my honor to introduce our guest speaker for this 137th Peabody Conservatory Commencement and recipient of the George Peabody Medal, the highest honor bestowed by the Peabody Institute. Tori Amos, if you would please join me at the podium. I'll read the citation. Tori Amos, you are among the most influential solo artists of your generation, beloved by millions of your emotionally honest, narratively complex, and unapologetically unconventional songs. A singer-songwriter, pianist, composer, and 8-time Grammy Award nominee, you began your study of music here at the Peabody Preparatory. You were performing professionally under your father's guidance by the age of 13, playing for lobbyists and politicians in a Washington, D.C. piano bar. From your 1992 breakthrough album, Little Earthquakes, to 2017's Native Invader, you have maintained a distinctly personal voice and achieved uncommon recording industry success with 7 of your 15 commercial albums debuting in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. Written on themes of feminism, family, sexuality, politics, and religion, your string of chart-topping singles has included inspiring and personal songs like Crucify, Silent All These Years, and A Sort of Fairy Tale. On your recordings and in live shows, you play not just piano, but also harpsichord, harmonium, clavichord, Hammond B3 organs, a Rhodes piano, and electronic keyboards. Devoted to your fans, you have performed more than 1,000 shows since your first world tour in 1992, and in 2003 were voted 5th best touring act by the readers of Rolling Stone magazine. During your most recent journey in the world of classical music, you worked with the German musicologist Alexander Burr on your 2012 album, Night of the Hunters, which pays tribute to composers such as Bach and Chopin, Bartók and Debussy, and which won an Echo Classic Award. Your stage musical, The Light Princess, an adaptation of the George MacDonald fairy tale, premiered at the London's Royal National Theatre in 2013 and was nominated for Best Musical at the Evening Standard Awards. You and your music have inspired many official and unofficial books in addition to your 2005 autobiography. In the Eisner and Harvey Award-winning anthology graphic novel Comic Book Tattoo, each of the stories is based on one of your songs. A longtime advocate for victims of sexual assault, you were the first spokesperson for the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, RAINN. Your semi-autobiographical 1991 song, Me and a Gun, has become something of an anthem for the Me Too movement, and you continue your involvement with RAINN as a member of the National Leadership Council. Tori Amos, you have followed the muses and charted your own course to the pinnacle of success, speaking your truth and attracting an ever larger following with every lyric. With this award, we celebrate your singular career and outsized impact. I am proud to bestow on you today the highest honor conferred by the Peabody Institute of the Johns Hopkins University, the George Peabody Medal for outstanding contributions to music in America.
I guess I really should get a medal for crashing and burning, because I fail a lot, and that's okay. I have hundreds of songs in the music graveyard, and some of them should stay there forever. I write songs about politicians in Washington now daily. My latest is called Long and Hard. I'll let you think about who that's about. Lindsey Graham. And so, but some of these songs should stay, pertaining to FISA. Some of those should really not ever be published, and that's okay. I want to talk to you about possibilities for you. I want you to think about Netflix. I want you to think about Amazon. I want you to think about Apple. And what are they doing? They're making shows. And have you heard some of those scores? Some of them suck. Now, Fred has told me you are at the top of your game. Your bar is high. Don't let that bar slide. I work with some of the pros. Some are great. Some have let that bar slide because they're running out to the pub instead of keeping the bar high, okay? I hire orchestras. And I have a hard time finding the players who can play the music. Do you know why the scores aren't very interesting in television? Not all, some are good. Some are very good, some are not. Because they don't have the imagination. So, budding composers, maybe you haven't found your true north yet. It took me a while to find my true north. It really, really did, as a writer. And once I did, I thought, I need to be a producer. That's a bit of a problem because as a writer, I'm an introvert. I'm terrified. I write in the dark for a long, long period of time. Sometimes it takes me years to write a song. So I had to develop a skill set, which you all can do. This is an amazing time for you to experiment. I mean, maybe one of you has a passion for, I don't know, bluegrass. So you're a bassoonist. You can work it out. There are possibilities, but you have the skill set. Now you need the imagination, and you need the bollocks. Bulls, balls. You need the stomach for this. I'm going to tell you one story, and then I know lunch is calling. And all your amazing achievements need to be honored. So, I just wish somebody had told me this about scenarios when things go wrong. Guys, things will go wrong. That's okay. But it's how you handle it. And if you put your head in the sand and just say, it'll be fine. Okay, that's one of my crash and burn moments. And I've had more than one. So as a producer, I got some advice, and I developed with the muses, they taught me, to put a protocol in place. So this is a sonic safety net. And as a producer, think about this. If you guys are just hired guns, that's kind of glamorous and sexy. You go in, you play the notes, you take your paycheck. You don't have the responsibility. But if you want the responsibility to see it through, then that's a different skill set. Are any of you arrangers in this room? Okay. So I broke my rules. I broke the rules of the sonic safety net that the muses had taught me to put in place. The first rule is check your tuning. You have no idea how many times during a recording session, if I'm not checking that tuning every 15 minutes, in post, I'm spending weeks in post with a Pro Tool operator at $700 a day, fixing the fucking bass player. Okay? Now, this is one of the greatest mistakes I've ever made, and I hope it's gonna be so obvious to you, you're gonna look at me and say, how stupid. But I was intimidated. Because sometimes, guys, you will be intimidated by people who have a pedigree and are famous, but their bar isn't as high as yours. I want you to remember that, because they have their boats. Some of them keep their bar high, and they have their lifestyle. But some of them don't. So you need to think about who you serve. What is your intention as a musician? Because it is seductive. Success can be very seductive, and that bar can slip. So the record company suggested, this is quite a while ago, but I'd sold a few million records, so I had a little bit of a pedigree, but I was intimidated. And so the record company said, I want you to work with this arranger. Okay. I said, okay. And then I was told the rules would be, but you don't get to hear the arrangement till the string day, the orchestral day, with the full orchestra. And I was very nervous, and I said, I was a young producer, that breaks my rules. The rules the muses have set out. If we're collaborating and we're trusting and we're confident in our music, then we share. And then I can make my changes. Changes? The artist makes changes? Well, the producer, that's part of her job, is to make the changes if they're not right. Because the arrangements have to tell the story that the song is telling, not your own fucking crazy made-up story. You're underscoring, or write your own song. Okay, that's how it works. So what happened? I broke my rule. Let's walk to the day, the orchestral day. They're all there. They've warmed up. Now, you have to understand, this type of session can cost you a small house. Maybe not in Montgomery County, but it will cost you a house. So the stakes are high, very high here. Okay, they're playing the first song, and I said to the guys, my team in the room, is that and they said, well, they said it's So I get on the talkback and I say, excuse me, sir, what song are you playing? We have a little hiccup here in the control room. He said, we're playing. And I thought, Jesus Christ. Okay, one down. Okay, crash and burn on one. We got 3 more. 6 hours later, it went from bad to worse. So I'm sure you all are ahead of the story. You understand, don't you, what happens now? What happens now is I've just blown this budget because I broke my rule. No, I didn't approve the arrangements, but by default, I did. Somebody said, let's call the record company. Oh, no. We do anything but that. We can't do that. Because they're bean counters. It's called the music business. Half of them are tone deaf. They're good at number crunching. So they'll either say, we put it out as it is. End of career. You would look at me and say, how could you approve that? You've lost your mind. No, I lost my courage. So at the end of it, I called in a musician that I trusted. And I said, tell me where we stand. He said, if you let this out, it's over. You will have lost your mind and the respect of any musician. And so I said, get me a shot of tequila, lock this door, and anybody who doesn't have the stomach for this, leave before I lock it. I take full responsibility. It wasn't the orchestra's fault. It was my fault. Red light, on. Save the piano vocals, make a copy just in case. Even the timpani, erase. Erase 4 arrangements. Did I catch flack? The doo-doo was heavy. It was huge. But I had to stand my ground. And so the solution then was, you know what? You're difficult, not pedantic. Men are pedantic when they're producers. Women are difficult. So they said, why don't we bring in a professional man in to sort this out? And I said, not another goddamn man. I need musicians who will follow the code and arrangers who will collaborate. Not with their ego, but with their commitment to the muses and to telling the story. And this is the code that I have. If I cannot compose for you what you need, I need to step back and hand the baton over to someone who can. Because that is the integrity of musicians that I am a part of. Join me. And boy, the fun is just beginning. Congratulations.
Would the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Music please rise? Dean Bronstein and Provost Kumar, I have the honor of presenting to you the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Music. Mateen Saad Milan, bassoon. Chadwick Glenn Thomas, clarinet. Cameron Falvey, composition. Atticus John Hebson, composition. Christine Liu, composition. Mei Mei Zhu, composition. Eric Cantor, computer music composition. Eric is also receiving a Bachelor of Music in Recording Arts and Sciences. Alexander Ringo, computer music composition. Norvin Tu Wong, computer music composition. Winston Harris, double bass. Winston is also receiving the Bachelor of Music in Music Education. Rachel Elizabeth Tucker Keene, double bass. Morrison Riley, double bass. Andrew Jerome Dardis, flute. Jordan Polquit, guitar. Sojourner McClure, guitar. Olivia Castor, harp. Thea Camerlin, harp. Jordan Dinkins, horn. Noah Tingen, horn. Mengying Han, oboe. Li Chin Fang, piano. Yunhan Gu, piano. Jeremy Thomas Hassel, piano. Timothy Jones, piano. Do-Young Park, piano. Jungmin So, piano. Pirapat Tokyo Tronguro, piano. Pirapat is also receiving the Bachelor of Music and Recording Arts and Sciences. Yunling Zhang, piano. Ryan Andrew Yakos, Recording Arts and Sciences. Ambrose Tang, trumpet. John Wagner, trumpet. Chengguang Wang, trumpet. Robert Austin Lingerfeld, tuba. Robert is also receiving the Bachelor of Music and Music Education. Madeline Victoria Brightbill, viola. Alexandra D'Amico, viola. Satara Pavaresh, viola. Changjia Ku, violin. Grace Kim, violin. Yeji Kim, violin. Fang Ying Shen, violin. Yu-Ju Tan, violin. Mei Zhan, violin. Marcella Kalaki, violin, cello. Jingchao Ren, cello. Ethan Sandman, cello. Kaylor John Suzuki, cello. Charlotte Suzanne Bagwell, voice. Lorenzo Zapata, voice. Raze Cheatham, voice. Catherine Holobinko, voice. Elise McNulty, voice. David Brian Sexton, voice. Thomas Russo Swain, voice. Trombone. Scott Campbell, horn. Paul Bisant, organ. Yukiko Nakamura, percussion. Anchi Hamer, voice. Would the recipients of the degree Master of Arts please rise? Dean Bronstein and Provost Kumar, I have the honor of presenting to you the recipients of the degree Master of Arts. Yujong Baek, Audio Sciences. Eric Engler, Audio Sciences. Eric is also receiving the Bachelor of Music in Recording Arts and Sciences. Richard Frank Rouser, Audio Sciences. Rolly Lee, Audio Sciences. Sharon Moses, Audio Sciences. Jonathan Andres Perez Santana, Audio Sciences. Yutong Chi, Audio Sciences. Anthony J. Staiti, Audio Sciences. Lin Yao, Audio Sciences. Would the recipients of the degree of Master of Music please rise? Dean Bronstein and Provost Kumar, I have the honor of presenting to you the recipients of the degree Master of Music. Namgon Lee, Baroque Viola. Stephanie Zimmerman, Baroque Viola. Stephanie is also receiving the Graduate Performance Diploma in Baroque Violin. Jamie Gallup, Baroque Violoncello. Kathleen Beavers, bassoon. Shang Chen, clarinet. Camilla Marie Agosto, composition. Jun An Chu, composition. Maxim Danyu, composition. Kyle Dubin, composition. Zuchin Shu, composition. Scott Keogh, composition. Tianrun Long, composition. Patrick Thompson, composition. Timothy Whitbeck, composition. Eric Arthur Fredrickson, computer music composition. Tianqian Huang, computer music composition. Hilo Tiago Cahiel da Silva, conducting. Jonathan Taylor Rush, conducting. Isaiah Sangwon Shim, conducting. Natasha Tulukdar, Ensemble Arts Vocal Company. Amanda Christine Dane, flute. Victor Manuel Hernandez Ramirez, flute. Tobias Maxwell James, guitar pedagogy. Sean David Stellman, guitar pedagogy. Esther Yoon Chung, harp. Suji Lee, piano pedagogy. Tong Shu, piano. Chelsea Wong, piano. Xuan Song, piano. Caitlin Grace Ost, historical performance voice. William Preston Marshall, historical performance voice. Mara Alexandra Rose Yaffe, historical performance voice. Yasmin Richards, horn. Yang Chin Hu, music education. Gabriela Alberico, oboe. Jordan Prescott, organ. Elman Chang, percussion. Jacob Gutierrez, percussion. Zachary Gutierrez, percussion. Zachary Taylor Mosher Davis, percussion. Robert Ruschato, percussion. Ga-in Ban, piano. Eugene Chan, piano. Liu Sherry Du, piano. Ian Ha, piano. Nari Lee, piano. Heixian Lin, piano. Heixian is also receiving the Master of Music in Ensemble Arts vocal accompanying. Ji Young Park, piano. Shu Song Lin, piano. Randy Ryan, piano pedagogy. Daniel Kamen, saxophone. Benjamin Mabrowski, trombone. Andrew Jimingu, viola. Carrie Jones, viola. Heijin Kim, viola. Bronwyn Cure, viola. Amy Wimei Tan, viola. Ting-An Wei, viola. Young Young, viola. Yang Ying Chen, violin. Huan Shi, violin. Jerry Ho, violin. Wei-Ling Hu, violin. Muning Huan, violin. Esther Kim, violin. Wang Liang, violin. Brenda Ko, violin. Brenda is also receiving the Master of Music in Baroque violin. Sarah Thomas, violin. Daisy Wang, violin. Kimberlyn Wu Peishi, violin. Aylin Yoon, violin pedagogy. Jerome John, cello. So-Yoon Park, cello pedagogy. Catherine Elizabeth Christenberry, voice. Madeline Crossland, voice. Emma Renee Dickinson, voice. Laura Gabrielle Doyon, voice. Jared Hancock, voice. Abigail Hart, voice. Ha Young Jung, voice. Alicia Renee Lumberry, voice. Truyan Liao, voice. Colleen Elizabeth McGonigal, voice. William Meinert, voice. Rhonda Elias Mellon, voice. Emma Nicholson, voice. Ariana Celeste Rodriguez, voice. Garrett James Sanderson, voice. Kelly Marie Timko, voice. Melanie Elizabeth Walker, voice. Siwei Zhang, voice. Ricardo Garcia, voice pedagogy. Erica Hagan, voice pedagogy. Henry William Hubbard, voice pedagogy. Henry is also receiving the Master of Music in Musicology. Bailey Jo Hutton, voice pedagogy. Daniel Edward Sampson, voice pedagogy. Maria Rosalie Servadidio, voice pedagogy. Degree of Doctor in Musical Arts. Jin Hua Choi, composition. Zachary Gulabov Davis, composition. Zachary is also receiving the Master of Music in Music Theory Pedagogy. Sun Young Park, composition. John Isaac Green, guitar. Paula Gail Mast, harpsichord. Iris Shu, piano. Dahi Kim, piano. Kimberly Kong, piano. Kimberly is also receiving the Master of Music in Musicology. Mauricio Ray Gallego, cello. Min-San Kim, voice. Robert Joel Pippin, wind conducting.
may, let me begin again with a bit of housekeeping. I invite you all to please join us for lunch on the plaza immediately following the conclusion of today's graduation ceremony. So I want to again congratulate all of our graduates, all of you today who, with your many impressive accomplishments, you've worked hard and faced setbacks, triumphed, and done things you once thought impossible. I want to ask you again to give a big round of applause for those that have supported you on your journey to get you to this place today, please. Here we are, we're celebrating your great success as we should. And that's really what today is about. The celebration of your success, of your hard work, and your efforts. And you've become deeper, more thoughtful artists and scholars. You owe that to your hard work and determination, and the commitment and dedication of the faculty with whom you have worked during your time at Peabody. And I know you all know how deeply your faculty are invested in your success, and I am sure you've thanked them as well. At the same time, I want to turn your attention to asking the question, what are you going to do with this now? Some of you will continue your studies, some will go out and start careers. Eventually, we are all faced with what's next. And it's a little sketchy out there. The Chicago Symphony just came off of a 7-week strike. Also in Chicago, the Lyric Opera Orchestra was on strike last year. The Pittsburgh Symphony was on strike in 2016 and settled with a 7% salary cut in the first year. Right here in Baltimore, the Baltimore Symphony has been playing for months without a contract and faces an uncertain future. That gets your attention. The uncertainty extends beyond the orchestra or opera world to dance companies, other forms of entertainment, and many businesses. There is more competition than ever for eyeballs and ears, for dollars, and for that most precious of consumer resources, time. So here's a sobering statistic. According to a National Endowment for the Arts survey, in the first decade of the 21st century, the percentage of U.S. adults who attended at least one classical music event a year declined from 11.6 to 8.8% in just 10 years. That's a challenging trajectory. Certainly, there are a myriad of reasons for this gaps in music education in our schools, changing lifestyles and technology, to name a few. We also have to consider demographics as we look to the future. According to the Census Bureau data, in 2014, the United States was effectively 2/3 white, 1/3 non-white. By 2060, that will flip. And classical music and other arts, unless diversity is addressed, will be recruiting performers and attracting audiences from a shrinking minority. This is both a huge opportunity and a challenge. If we're going to prosper, future audiences will have to be much more diverse than we can even dream of today. We never overstate how important it is. It's a competitive world, and you have to be outstanding. In fact, it is excellence in performance that makes art compelling and inspires others. You learned long ago to dig deep in your art and be the best you can be. And that never-ending search for making something better is, after all, what artists live for. The second leg of the stool is innovation. That's a hard one in fields built on the past, but it can come in many wonderful forms, in diverse and unexpected programming, in new formats, in creative community engagement, in how we present and talk about what we do, and the partnerships we build across other disciplines and art forms. You, as young artists, are hopefully thinking about this, even if that just means recognizing that these issues will be part of your artistic and professional lives. The third leg of the stool is diversity. We recognize that classical music has a diversity problem, and we must act aggressively to remedy that problem. Classical music was one part of popular culture. As we all know, Paganini and Liszt were rock stars in their days.
Even in the 20th century, classical music was featured on television way before your time. For example, in the Bell Telephone Hour and Leonard Bernstein's Young People's Concert, and in cartoons, Looney Tune cartoons, think Bugs Bunny. But as time went on, classical music became an exclusive club, a closed inner sanctum that, certainly in the United States, represented and served a primarily older, whiter, more affluent demographic. While there are notable exceptions, classical performers, conductors, and composers today remain not exclusively but largely homogeneous, as do audiences. And by the way, this extends to dance. A true bright spot is in jazz, which through its rich diversity and the place it's taken in educational and performing arts institutions today, is helping to change this world. It's not that diversity in our world hasn't been an area of concern. For more than 30 years, orchestra leaders have discussed diversity in their ensembles. American orchestras have also talked earnestly about attracting more diverse audiences. They've launched sometimes impressive community engagement efforts. Yet despite gains by women, something we really celebrate, our orchestras are no